What is up, everyone? Circon here, bringing you guys day 12 of the Advent calendar, and some of you guys might actually like this one a little bit. It is the Primo of Victoria, the Swedish Centurion, named after, I think, just the song. Maybe it means something else. From Sabaton, the band Sabaton. They also made like a music video and all that shit. So that's the Advent calendar for today. It's the same across all the servers. And you can buy it as, you know, Advent offer, which is not much of an offer, or you can buy the standard. And the standard comes with the tank, oh, shocking, a garage slot, shocking, but it also comes with all the band members of Sabaton, which have the Band of Brothers perk. Now let's get right into that a little bit, because there's a couple of things you need to know about this crew. So, Band of Brothers works together with Brothers in Arms just fine, as you can see, because if I replace this guy with a little shitter, this is all grayed out. But if I put him back in, or even replace him with Brothers in Arms, the commander that has Band of Brothers still is active. So it is essentially a 0 crew skill crew, because how I increase this is only 42k, which is the same as your first skill. So this crew is again a very, very nice crew to get, because of crew training purposes, right? And we have the price of roughly 32 euros or so, and you get a 0 crew skill, or, you know, a good crew with the... It's always weird to call this, but with Brothers in Arms included, which is a decent price for such a crew, because you would need to spend quite a bit of money to get the crew to the first crew skill. And then, you know, training purposes, it will all be pretty 8. So the pricing on this is fairly decent. Now, there's another thing you need to know, and that is that the commander gives you a special in-game crew noises. You know, if you hit something, stuff like this, he will actually be talking. This, however, also means that you cannot change his position in a tank. He will always be the commander. And this is grayed out. You will never be able to change it. Obviously, you can make him a commander of a different tank just fine, but you cannot change the commander status. This also is weird with the other guys in the band, is that you can retrain them, but you cannot make them a commander. So they can only become the other ones. Now, this is limited usage, of course, but, you know, it is something you should know. In case you maybe want to get some commanders with 6th Sense and Brothers in Arms really quickly, or something like that. Just a little bit of an extra tidbit of information there, so you know about that as well. So the pricing is okay, it's decent. It's a little bit more expensive than the other normal tier 8 premiums, and obviously it's not on a discount at all, which the other tier 8 premiums might be. But the crew is fairly nice. And how is the tank itself? The tank itself is, you know, pretty good. It's literally the tier 8 UK Centurion. And for those who didn't catch up to this yet, they buffed the Centurion turrets quite a bit. So the turret is now really freaking good. And you can actually go hold down and not get overmatched too much in your turret. Look at this, 470, it's really freaking good. As long as you hold down, you're freaking Gucci. It's really good. And it's really reliable as well. It's not some one-off armor like the Email 1, for example. The Email 1 is a really good example of a turret that works until you meet a higher tier opponent. This pretty much works against, you know, the higher tiers as well. You still have to watch out for big ass TDs, but hey, you know, that's always the case. The ammo is also rather nice. It's APCR and APCR, which means high shell velocity at 1300 with 226 pen on the regular ammo and 258 on the premium. So that's all fairly nice. The DPM is kind of lackluster, but decent enough. 230 alpha. The aiming time at 2.21 is nice. Dispersion at 32 is nice, and all the other gun stats are fairly nice. Also, the Centurions, all of them got buffed to 50 top speed, while still maintaining a relatively good power to weight, which is also nice. 10 degrees of gun depression, of course. 1450 health, which is good. And the hull armor is, you know, only 76. Nothing to be sniffed at, but it comes down to about, you know, 130 or so. So you're not really going to bounce anything in the hull on any side. Also, the side is about 55, 50-ish. so you're not going to be able to sidetrack much. It's literally a one-trick pony in that regard. You have to be hold down, and that is where you shine. So if you like this kind of playstyle, this tank might be for you. Like I said, it's not per se a bad tank. Obviously, it's not limited matchmaking, and tier 8 matchmaking is still fairly fucked if you ask me. But you guys all know this. There's one more thing to say about this tank though, and that is, what are you gonna train your crews for? Because Swedish mediums, it's actually better to take a look at it in the text view actually. If we take a look here, we go to Sweden. So the mediums end at tier 7, the Leo. And then the Emil's a heavy, the Emil 2 and the Crown Nugget are all heavies. The other tech tree is TDs, which they have their own crew trainer, the S1. So who are you gonna train crews for? Now, the only tank worth a single fuck in this entire line, if you ask me, is the STRV-74. This is a brilliant little tier 6 tank, and I highly recommend getting one. But is it really worth buying a premium tank with a crew for just making credits, and then you're getting a really good crew for tier 7 or lower tank? For some, that might be worth it. But I feel like you probably want to get a more versatile premium than this in regards to crew training. So crew training wise, it's literally whatever. Also, you can see here that it mixes with everything, because we even have the, well, this has birds and arms, but even the women crew and everything, the birds and arms works with. But yeah, so who's this really for? Like, if we don't, like, unless Sweden gets more mediums, and I kind of wish they would just have, you know, Swedish Centurions or something, so you at least have that to train for. And yes, they will be kind of duplicates of the British, but you could probably make some differences there in the higher categories. I mean, there's so many Centurion variants, there has to be something for Sweden. Yeah. Also, I kind of wish, but this is just for me personally, I kind of wish they would sell the the camo-less version. Because don't get me wrong, I like the model, I just don't like the Sabaton sitting on the side, but hey, that's me. But I kind of wish they would sell the regular one alongside it. Let's see if I can show it preview. So this is in the game as well. And I wouldn't mind it if they would sell this at you know, less of a price, because you don't have the crew. And yeah, you know, it is what it is. Other side note is of course, is that the camo doesn't really work, because it has the standard camo, so you don't have to buy camo for it, which is, you know, either a benefit or a downside, no matter how you look at it. Maybe with the new camouflage changes that are coming, as in regards to how everything looks, you can maybe actually customize how it looks and make it look more like a normal Centurion, maybe. But overall, it is a really cool model. It's, you know, it has all the Sabaton memes on it, and the Singer has this on his chest or something like that. So the tank itself looks pretty neat, and the tank is also fairly good. So yeah, it's really up to you. I think most people that wanted this tank already bought it during the last sale, just because it has Sabaton on it and it has the Sabaton crew, which is, you know, kind of the vanity item here. I will leave you guys with another video where I played this tank, so you can see it before you buy it and see if it's for you. It should be up on the screen right now. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow for another day of the Advent calendar. Day 13 is coming up. Anyway, catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.